Continuing off of my last episode of Idiots and Ignorance, let's talk about the design of Witcher 3 in the form of story quests and how The Witcher 3 is the first RPG I've ever played that has organically forged a compelling narrative of the main story and the side quests that surround it. In Witcher 3, there are three main types of quests. You have your main quest, your side quests, and Witcher contracts. The main example that I wish to focus in on is the storyline of the Bloody Baron. Now, before I progress, there are some spoilers, so if you haven't gotten this far in the story, I just want to give you a heads up. After searching long and far for the Baron's wife, I returned to him and informed him of her situation. With the final piece of the puzzle regarding Ciri's whereabouts, the Baron decided on getting his wife back. Now, before this, I have to say I've had this love and hate relationship with the Baron. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is an asshole, but I really felt sincerity in him when I talked with him. It was like talking to another person who had just lost their way, yet deep down, I could sympathize with him at a certain level. That perhaps he had some good intentions, but he just could never display them correctly. Man, I would sit there for like the whole conversation, leaning forward towards the monitor, as if I was there listening to his tale myself. It was just that captivating. And this isn't the only one. I could sit here for hours talking to you about all these amazing side quests and contracts. They are just compelling, because what The Witcher has done is replace the generic fodder side quest system that has plagued tons of open world RPGs, and instead has created complex stories within stories that actually make you feel like each quest truly rewards and even changes your adventure. Going back to the story of the Bloody Baron, I had this side quest where I had to find his wife, Anna. And while doing this, I did another side quest dispelling this evil spirit that was trapped inside of a tree. Now, while I was talking to this spirit, I had found out that the three witches that I was hired to do this quest for had Anna and the orphans under servitude and were planning on eating the children. Without much time to think, I just decided on releasing the spirit, and in return, that spirit would save the orphans. This choice of picking the lesser evil at the time had a profound effect on a quest that I thought was completely irrelevant. As promised, the evil spirit saved the orphans, but as a consequence, the witches put a spell on the Baron's wife, turning her into a monster. I was tormented on how what I thought was originally a good choice at the time came back to haunt me later for a completely different side quest. It gave me a true moment of being morally gray. That even with good intentions, things didn't go the way I wanted them to go. Things only got worse as I was forced to fight against the crone's fiends and monsters, and even after doing everything I could to lift the curse, she died.
It's Anna! What have you done?
What have you done? You were to save her! She burst into flames, hear me! My mother burned alive!
I stared at the monitor, jaw wide open in disbelief. What did I do wrong? Why did this happen? I went back quickly to try an older save, thinking that I picked the wrong dial, and picked another one, which was, in fact, the correct one. The same result. I was able to break the curse this time, but she still died.
You're back.
I felt powerless, hopeless, horrible, as the daughter blamed me, and the Baron just didn't even say anything to me. He just stopped and just stared at me and gave me this look that made me feel like the worst human being on earth. I just had this horrible sinking feeling. I had all these questions of where I went wrong and how I could have avoided this whole situation. And at that moment, I had deja vu. I was in the same situation not so long ago after beating Mass Effect 3. Defeated, lost, saddened, this feeling of regret and anxiety. The wish of being able to go back and do it all over again, to change things and do things differently. But the thing is, I missed the whole point. See, this whole time, I never even considered my choice of saving the orphans as the cause of my current suffering, until after reading about it 3 days later online. I returned to the manor only to find that the Baron had hung himself. The Baron's right-hand man handed me my reward, and I left that place. While riding towards Novigrad and my next quest, I realized I wasn't just playing another RPG. I was embarking on something more.
If I'm to choose between a greater and lesser evil, I'd rather not choose at all. Usually, though, the stakes are just too damn high. Sometimes in choosing a greater evil, you do good, albeit in a small way. When I chose to save the orphans of the swamp, I couldn't know Anna would die, and I never thought the Baron would leave his wife where she lay, find a rope and hang himself. Most times, you make your choice and never look back.